Welcome back to the Prim and Proper YouTube channel. I'm Benny, and if this is your first time on our YouTube channel, I hope you will subscribe. I'm going to bring you along as I make dinner for our family tonight. I'm going to show you a quick but delicious way to bake your whole chicken. I'm also going to share with you a mac and cheese recipe that you have not seen anywhere else. And it is the best mac and cheese recipe that you would ever try. So I'm starting with the chicken, and I've just rubbed about a tablespoon of salt all over the chicken. Next, I'm going to put about a tablespoon of suya pepper on my chicken, and I'm going to rub it all over like so. If you don't have suya pepper, you can use salt and powdered pepper. So yeah, a tablespoon is just right. And I'm just gonna rub it all over like so. And like I said, this is a very easy and quick way to make whole chicken. I'm not going to blend anything at all. So for the chicken, all you're going to need is a bunch of thyme, and I'm going to just insert all of my thyme in here. A whole garlic, that's about 12 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to put everything inside the chicken like so. I'm also using 1 lemon, and all you do is cut up your lemon into little cubes like that, and it's also going inside. And I always like garlic, I always like ginger in my chicken, so I'm just going to put a few, maybe like 2 to 3 thumbs of ginger in there. I'm also going to add some red onions, so I think about half will be good, half a red onion, and I'm just going to put it in here. And this is a young whole chicken, so she is not that big, but I've been able to put everything I want in there. All right, so here is our chicken. I'll just let it sit while I'm prepping for the mac and cheese. Alright, so to make your mac and cheese, you will need 3.5 cups of elbow pasta. You will need 1 stick of unsalted butter. You will need a little, about a teaspoon of black pepper. You will need a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use my favorite Maggi cube. This is the shrimp flavor. And you will need 1 green bell pepper. You will also need half of a white sweet onion. If you don't have sweet onion, just use regular white onion. You will need 2 cups of whole milk, and you will need 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, like so. And I have chosen to use some crab meat and some shrimp in my mac and cheese. So I had wanted to use some lobster meat, but I couldn't find any in the store today. So we're going to have crab meat and shrimp mac and cheese, and it's going to be delicious. So I'm going to start by cooking my pasta, and I'm just gauge what I need. I'm not going to put any oil into the water to cook my pasta, because what the oil does is it helps the pasta not stick together, and that's not what I want. I actually want my pasta to stick together for my mac and cheese. All right, so I've already cleaned my shrimp with some lemon. I'm just going to steam it for about 10 minutes using some diced red onions and some salt and a little bit of Maggi seasoning. I'll start with the shrimp for about 5 minutes, then I'll add the crab meat. So just a little bit of salt and some shrimp seasoning. So I don't need to use the whole one. I have a little bit from a previous one, so I'll just use it. And all right, so I'm going to steam my shrimp and crab meat with just about a quarter of the red onions and about a half a thumb of ginger. Just a little bit of water. So I'm going to steam this for about 5 minutes, then I'll add the crab meat to it. So while the shrimp is steaming, I'm going to go ahead and also blend half of the sweet white onions with my bell pepper. So this is a whole green bell pepper. I'm going to blend it for the sauce that I'm going to use to make my mac and cheese. So I'm just gonna add some water and blend that up and get that ready. Okay, so we're going to start making our cheese sauce. I'm going to start by melting 1 stick of unsalted butter. And it looks like our pasta is ready, so I'm gonna turn it off and drain the pasta. Alright, so we'll just set it aside while we're making the sauce. Alright, so I'm now going to add in my crab meat. Oops, I think I just dropped one in here in the butter, but that's okay. Alright, so I just put the crab meat. Alright, so the butter is completely melted. I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of flour in my butter, and I will stir it. So that was not quite 3, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, so next I'm going to put in my whole milk. Oops, and I'm using 2 cups of whole milk. So that's my whole milk. I don't think I've already mentioned that I'm using cheese in my sauce, but you guys already knew that. I'm using cheese. I will be using sharp cheddar cheese and pepper jack cheese. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 cup of, actually a cup and a half of whipping cream. 1 and a half. And the crab meat steamed for about 15 minutes, which was a little bit too long. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, take it off the fire and let it sit here. And I will let the butter and the milk cook for maybe 5 more minutes before I add the cheese. All right, so for cheese, you need about 6 to 8 cups of cheese, whatever cheese you decide to use. I really recommend that you do a mixture of the sharp cheddar and the pepper jack. I tried that before and it's really good. So this is 2 pounds of sharp cheddar, which is 4 cups. And I'm going to use 2 cups of I set up the cheese to make it easier to melt. And you do not want to use shredded cheese for your mac and cheese. And the reason why you don't want to use shredded cheese is that shredded cheese has a substance in it that doesn't make the cheese stick together. You want your cheese together. So if you get a whole a bar of cheese, it does not have that substance in it. So it's better to use cheese that's not shredded. So I'm using all of this. So I've lowered the fire a little bit so that I let the cheese melt slowly on its own without burning it. And it's looking pretty good. As you can see, it's really thick and cheesy. All right, so probably another 10 more minutes. All right, so our cheese sauce is super thick, but it's still going to come out good. I'm going to put in my, remember the green peppers and the, oh, and I think I used too much water, so I have to be careful. I have a lot of water in the bottom. I'm only going to scoop the top. And this is all yummy flavor. Yeah, I used too much water when I was blending, and I don't need that water in my sauce. So I just used the top part, which is perfect. And I'm just going to mix it into my sauce. Onions and green pepper. Loosened up the thickness of my cheese sauce. It smells really good. So the only thing left to put in my sauce is some salt. I'll put about 2 teaspoons of salt. I'll put 2 teaspoons of red powdered pepper, and I'll also put 2 teaspoons of black pepper. My shrimp and crab meat. And as I'm putting it in, a little bit of the stock from the meat will also get in here, and that's additional flavor. If you're not using any meat, and if you have some chicken stock at home, you can add a little bit of chicken stock for some flavor. All right, so I just tasted, and I could use a little bit more salt, so I'm putting in half a cube of my shrimp Maggi. And then I'll spare. And this is thick. This is really thick, but it's still going to do the job. So the chicken is ready to go in the oven. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of olive oil in my pan and then move my chicken into my pan up like that. I'm also going to sprinkle some olive oil all over my chicken like so. And I've preheated my oven at 400 degrees, and I will bake for an hour and 15 minutes. All right, so we're ready to layer the pasta for the mac and cheese. So I'll start with one layer, then I'll add some cheese sauce. So that's my first layer. And I'll add my cheese sauce. Hope I don't make a mess. This mac and cheese to be very cheesy, and so I'll put some in the other corner. All right, so I'm going to do another layer of pasta. I wish I had a bigger pan because it looks like I have more pasta than actually it's not too bad. It might come up to the top a little bit. If we have some cheese left over, I will save it. All right, so I'm just going to sprinkle some cheese on top. And I have a little bit too much in my pan, so I'll just have to keep an eye on it. So,
because it might overflow.
And we're only going to bake this. Since I already have my my chicken in the oven, I'm going to add it in the oven, and I'll check on it in about 30 minutes to see how it's going. Need a little bit more on the side. I'm also going to sprinkle some breadcrumbs on top. To get that crusty, burnt look on the top. Mac and cheese was kind of dripping out of the pan, so what I did is I made a little, like, I took a bigger pan and I put some water in it, and I'm going to let the small pan sit in it so it doesn't keep dripping in my oven. Alright guys, this is what the mac and cheese is looking like. It's really good. It looks really good. And yeah, I've learned my lesson not to make so much mac and cheese in such a little pan, but I think it's ready. It's been in here for I think close to 40 minutes actually, but it's ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Is all done. I'm going to just going to garnish with some parsley. And I'm going to make my chicken even more juicy by putting some Moscato on it. So you can use any type of sweet white wine that you want to use. Alright guys, so look at how juicy this chicken is. We're having a late dinner, but it was all worth it. And this is what the mac and cheese looks like. It is cheesy. You can see. And it smells amazing. All right guys, we're all done. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you will try this recipe. As you can see, it is so cheesy and it smells so good. Our chicken looks juicy. We're actually in the next video going to show you a dessert that we're making tonight. So we hope you stick around. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe, but please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you love this video. I hope you really try these recipes. They are both really amazing. And come back and leave us some comments. Give us a thumbs up. Don't forget that. We have a bunch of you who haven't subscribed. So Nanama will be in the next video to remind you of how to subscribe and how to turn off your notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye guys.